Ebusuafo na etie fo ni die kwan so me patcho me ma obi bia akwaba ba channel so ahanum daily update TV. Obo kwan so say na no first time aba channel so amesro say ni die kwan so otie news ni we na so ni dwan. Please subscribe for more updates. Like and share news, my lovers so nya news ni bi. En hwe Yakopon share no onye o Kesi bebre. Ebusua me patcho Honorable Zenator Rollins na wapia ba bontinde insem bia betudwa. Now I'll share a caption now. Yes, it was storming easy. Not as sincere was storming easy physically, but was storming easy with the words. Waka and sema efa easy home. And was storming easy with the words. And wa warning easy pa. Na Zenator Rollins, I may who say, even a picture cram pona or the comma easy Mensah say. Nanka on fan or sa picture no the command say unko on you suno. Mensah cha picture no so kakra. One said na kuwachwa ni say na kedin say ni Mensah cha ama afi abeda ni si kakra but still na nim kakra ho ama or the evidence no kra be kire mpo na wa so far was sending strong message pa ma Mensah say niema omo ye no omo making sure so be ye niema Ghanaians be have faith and belief e wo mumu no munjai, that is, let me put in the way say trust e wo mumu no munjai so omo ye kokwasa edwuma no and the tempia you people admit mistakes because tempia mu mistakes say NDC MP ababonti ameka se mo da bi ade we amaye emfa kwan mu a na chese nke NDC say other political parties in the Mensah will always maneuver the way through, we just sail through easily without being checked. That is the easy we can attest to, and I have an evidence. If I say I have an evidence, I mean say the BVR your friends machines, you know. A bar so maybe NDC for P Babontin because say Ibiara. Easy led by Mensah P Babontin because they be sensi. Later they came out and admitted. And then Mensah again, I mean, yes, I call him kakra. That is fast forward. NDC for Sabe SIP Babontin Ebe Mayu who say the voter register. That was when I did provisional register nebano. Say na anomalies be wom. And Mensah people by the be antisa, Mode Mosemo amon fambra, or Moko IPAC meeting, they admitted. That was when NDC was, I mean, seriously calling for the forensic audit. That was it. And now, no, mobile, which is here, no, just say, Masako, another one, and most of the final register, Akroma, all the political parties. And think NDC for who said there be a dear Modiamaye. More am I without a register, without details. So, like, dear bad, then I'm up say, yastic for us to make the comparison. How? Yastic be anywhere, benchmark be anywhere, because all the my total number of Uncofoni say, na yan so ye cotnas near calculating you and pa win at the my, but one fa, I mean, can say the statistics now more register no. When I would say what the final voter register now more, but details and who information now or move to make comparison. One far more. Na no na Zenator Rollins say Piaba Bontin abe one no pa so was stormy easy. Na nsema waka kanchire easy ne leakage sa wodi abeto bi so me ma me kasa nyetinti yenko ne nko ti nsem no Yakopon sha no Kesi. Me da se bebre.
Any afraid ye doubt when him me da ya me ba be kan wo bia sere be ya me so bete kama e couldn't be nante no yeah be so but Electoral Commission 29 days to elections when timi me kan che Ghana for nipa dodo o ma register o mo ba beto aba mo party that raising concerns, other political parties are raising concerns, but Superasari say oh krata na me de ma amanyokuo awodo no na ne e pa ne say omo no mo nyo mo nkunta na omo ehunu nipa dodo a e ba beto aba meanwhile provide a figure error ben was side we mo.
Oh my goodness onim so me ba last time my example be
yeah,
it's a very extreme example but it's just to illustrate the importance of being open and transparent. Me who say me fa one example la me fa you ma you who said the mayor no e kasa keke enye reality.
What you see?
Very good. You fan say e bia BBC e na we year who say I won e oba bi e bon komo. First no now lock your phone. Na said the asem na bedroom no. E to say when you pin name for your phone no so suspicion no enko.
That's right.
Until now for the sake of bringing peace in the house no. you have to now go the extra mile. When you because why no now they are channel. It doesn't mean that everything has to be out there, but you see, maybe once it happens and people start getting suspicious, to build trust again, you must go the extra mile to be transparent. And I feel say to an extent, EC is not understanding the value of that trust that the public should have in them. It is crucial that at the end of an election, no matter what the outcome is, the public will not question it. And when any questions arise, it should not be based on whether or not there has been a lack of integrity on the part of the Electoral Commission. Because between them and the court, they are given that mandate so that Ghanaians can trust the electoral process. You see, the fallout from an election where people NG system nidino is too much. We can't take that risk. Not in this year, 2024.
That's right.
Not at a time who say there are democratic reversals are AC around us. Not at a time when we've seen say the number of attacks are AC because of terrorism, armed terrorism, violent extremism, air coastal. We can't afford to create a system where people start losing faith in what we have. There one me too quite other African countries. Yeah, we should not destroy what we have.
Wow.
But those who are vested with the authority, woman they oversee programs to say elections. Yama almost opportunities say woman some Ghana in positions of such authority. They must understand that a Jumana womo it's not just for their reputation. The entire security of this country is at risk if we don't manage what it is that people perceive is happening, even behind the scenes of what the Electoral Commission is doing or what various agencies are doing in the lead up to the election. Because I bear to say, well, now you don't want to create a situation where obia are suspicious. It's no big deal, not a sparky problem, And this election, a lot of places have been flagged as flashpoints.
That's right.
And this year, compared to previous years, it looks as though there are more areas that have been flagged.
Wow.
That's not a good sign. What have we been doing over the last 4 years? Because you see, what you want to do is to see that in so and so, EBIA 2020, we have, for example, Enya figure, for example, now EBIA 20 flashpoints, in a particular area. Over the years, they started looking at are there any reasons now these particular areas were seen as flashpoints? Have they managed to address them? What you want is a situation for 4 years later, it's not 20 anymore. It's, let's say, 10.
That's right.
Or 5. But if it's on the increase, it means that something is not right. Why? Inti memom dear, I feel that the EC really needs to be up and moving on trying to restore that level of confidence in Ghanaians just by simply doing what they are meant to do. Well, right now, there's one thing I waka, register. That alone will reassure Ghanaians you have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. And no say won't be a register for people to go and check.
Yes.
But that extra step must happen. Because, for example, our Meme constituency, by some strange miracle, I better say MPP for no any access to the database. One different for a register.
Wow.
I don't know how that happened. I don't want to sit here and speculate, but your guess is as good as mine. Well, we shouldn't create a situation where it looks like some people are being favored over others and how data is being shared. Because actually, by law, you're not meant to. You're not meant to. Idea wako hosewo koye registration. I will do details amano. You should not be finding your details in somebody else's phone or their database. I want more free or bisa on them, and I almost send you messages. How is it happening? Then you should say it's free for all. Not obia into me yebi. But you see, protection of data is key. So all kinds of people should give you their data. You must protect their data. And I think that's something that we also need to take seriously as a country. Well, I think there are only a few things left where people should start now doing class action suits against some of these agencies that are not protecting the data of the public.
Class action suits.
You know something?
As a Nibia, and also GDN no form.
Well,
say
the ECOWAS court. You see, we must understand that there are structures that if you're not getting justice in your country, you can actually escalate to another. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But then it almost serves as a check and balance. So that one of my ABI, they are not getting what they feel is fairly theirs in their own jurisdiction. No? Because we are signed on to certain protocols and we are part of certain treaties, it means that now you can also escalate to the next level. But I really hope that the EC will do what has to be done, because we have to make sure that the public has no questions about the sanctity of this particular election. You call around and Crawford and their only thing is protect our votes, protect the ballot box, protect the ballot box. Why should individuals be completely just always saying this? It means that the trust level is not high. It shouldn't be so.
Because that's a major concern running across even to the flag bearer.
Yes.
John Dramani Mama or can in some area the crack is a bit boy man or buying.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what happens at the polling station makes a difference. And last time Oba Clote colony or can be which was actually very interesting. You see, everyone at Obejna polling station now will observe it counting and now voting. Let your phone be your source of evidence. Everyone should become a reporter on the day. Now, a banner say BBS, we have people who have video evidence of what is happening there.
That's right.
And I hope so Obia and Soren Kasa say, oh, polling station area, no man phone number. Don't put your phone in the polling booth. Understood? But we reserve the right to also be citizens who are paying attention and protecting what is ours. Into no dear, me say everyone at Obeko polling station be winning. Yanum your polling agents. We are making sure say ye trainee and crowfree na to know what to be looking out for, to keep an eye on things. But honestly, I pray, and I've said this before, say security agencies they must remember that they are not there for regime protection. They are there for the state. And to say, what your security service need, whether immigration or say police or say soldiers or say fire service or say prison, so whatever service you belong to. Now say you've been posted to a polling station. Remember, say, what you gonna. Remember, say, protection of the sanctity of the vote. Anyway, Juma. Making sure that things are going correctly, not what you are being told to do by somebody who we can't see. We need to make sure that the integrity of our security services is maintained throughout this electoral process as well. They shouldn't allow people to tag them as being stooges for anybody.
Very well. All right, yeah, but back on Clote now for your head, you made it that one you saw.
Yanto abano, but you were GDA say, you didn't kunim. In see way there, a Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yes, a Thanksgiving in advance. But ye per se, ye shaky grounds no kakra. Wow. For the last at least 6 months ni, ya call round, ye name crofwa bon komo. Hey, ya nanti you.
I can imagine.
Men papa wano why. Ya nanti pa. But I think at the end of the day, one ma ye no more bon komo ni bibia we just want to gather. Now woman who say they are not alone. We are a lot of people are what GDA say the NDC edebano eyadepa. Now we have that support because sometimes as a football na a team be wo na wo ni a crowd a good crowd morale or from kakrebi. Right. And sometimes even as a spectator you feel better when you see say you have more people, and it's just to let people feel encouraged say as difficult as things are there is hope. There is hope, and we want to remind them say NDC say Kesi no so we do things in the interest of the country. Your family and friends you drink Ghana mine ho you drink your mouth ho. And it's just to remind people who the NDC is, what we stand for, and to let them believe, say, election we are Yeni nwa kura 2 votes. Me kura 2 votes.
Yeah.
Me were 1 for presidential. Me tuma mahama. Na ma fa parliamentary no. Na matwa ma.
Meaning say you too money me no.
There be.
And you kura 2 votes.
Yeah, one each.
Okay.
1 presidential. Na yeni say nkrofo PA can say all down number 8. So want to abada. What for ballot paper now? One show you now we're confused because I can say, oh, number no here. Number be ni ballot paper no so. Inti baby a chinye no ono. Eho e na obey you say.
To say you show TV the show.
Inti say ya. Na wo be ye okokomoti sideways. Won ye ni say. Na we ye ni say na ebia enk no ekoshe obi box mo a. Nipa all kind no onim de wo wa dream mu. Inti onhu say aha and na wo pesa wo to aba enti na yesi se wo to aba na wo yen sideways na box na e wo mu no sa na wo mo ballot paper na normally no say na wo mo abobo no lengthwise said the beya baby a wo beto aba no baby a wo be ye a thumbprint no e be kwa akoda nipa kro no nanim because wo ambobo paper ni ye na wo ye ni say ya abeye double voting because ink no be kwa akotare baby foforo enti na wo mo bonus say wo mo de ma okrapo normally no say na ete but se won nima just to be sure no you do it lengthwise meso me de no ye mienu pe wo de me hwe hade wo de aheya wa ho me na me ye oba no wo mu na easy no me hu se picture no wo me twa so kakra wo hu se enye hwe wo de hwehwe umbrella no enchen hwa na wa ye ni say
wow
wo ye mistake wo kwan a obetimi de asesa ballot paper no wotimi de koma EC official no na catch and say why you mistake into on fa from ma obeje de why you mistake was no everyone same now the foforo ama said the beya obetimi akoye correct thing no inti say oh you mistake mensro
no ebra beya ebra wo de ato adaka mu
debi won yam fan to adaka mu wo booth no voting booth no I bia nka wo be ye ne say na ade ne eba say streak kakra bia ba ha now say debi we wan hwe ya wo mo kenkan ya wo mo fa ma doctor enti me ko sesa paper no wo de command pa de ma na ka chen say why you mistake on fa from ma wa or the foforo be ma or the ma wa na wa ye ne eno ano no na wa paper ink no I wo kokromoti no so said the be ya won fa print no and yeah other parts of the paper just in case in folding it na won sa tire baby into wo ye voting no na wa paper won sa na face wa bo lengthwise now they akoshe ballot box no
wow
ai
okay enti wa bra ye we nyina no e de na mo betima ka chia me ho ada ye ho so say sabra cedi to dollar mo abem na ye 4 cedis and na bedu 17 cedis mo ba mo betima ya me na ba form ama ye ho atoye because ye kasa titi nyina ye sika ni wetra ye na mo be
ho one said near Pia sa government way in Kawomo cast as various taglines no 1D 1F D and Kawomo ye a Jumananka Sanka de Hunanka uncles Anka ye nya Bibia and ye campaign. Because if you actually improve industrialization in your country, you stabilize the exchange rate.
Yeah.
But I bear to say we are just consuming yen producing no, in spite of people saying we may see factories no. Of course, you are importing everything. Of course, the dollar rate will be what it is.
Yeah.
And now, fake no so I don't know. Nah, just say no credit dear back. And then also just mismanagement of our resources. Well, now one of the key things are a 24-hour economy. Per se the banner. We have a lot of things that will be underpinning that, including reliable power generation and supply.
You
see, you see, this is look, there's so much that we will see, Ghanaians will see when we come to power.
Wow.
Because well, now resolve it, doomson now, Ebinum said doomson never stopped, you know. I feel the omo in shift. Said the omo shift system for SHS no sana dooms on omo in shift. Inti so when be when you who say no na ekoso. Omo o hakakra na de akoyo baby fufu sana sa. Other na street lights no most of the man's working. But anyway, back to the issue of, for example, the 24-hour economy, or for example, the apprenticeship program now, for example, my main final, for example. So, sure, a lot of people are ACNs and Ujuma, whether it's to do with spraying, welding, electric engineering, then you must have one my Ujuma air fitting shops, no, for example. So, sure, BB Sana. Emrante P. Person who say Ujuma no. Sikana deba. Eba ma masters na the besua ade na wo mu ni binti wo mu tete masters na wo ho no anka wo pese wo chi ade no e wo ho but wo mu nya nkola no enhwere mo ade we ade a say to get this number of people are wo mu tifia wo mu nya hwe no off the e wo fie now come into the workforce. We need to do skills training, which means say apprenticeship program as part of our policy is to support the masters to be able to train.
Wow.
Now you provide allowances so for one of my so that you are pairing those teaching and those willing to learn. Because skills development so a whole group of your population are skills so it means that when you are having the industries where you need them, you can't employ them.
Okay.
Increasing your productivity is important, because if you're increasing your productivity, that also means that your economy is moving. You're creating employment, generating more income. But if we don't do any of these things now, what we're saying is what we're saying.
I don't need spiral effect in another some time ago on Joy FM. No, so there'll be a cyclical spiral effect. Who see the na one the aba form no. Net will be so.
But 8 years no say 8 years no and 28 days naka to election. It's time we give it back to those who did it, who said they would do it and did it. Baby Adruno, one more dear share COVID, one more dear share Ukraine, but they are not taking responsibility for their part in how we got to this point.
All right. Yeah, we're back to the walk now. It was.
Ebusia me patcho me do bi biase say wanyamre no abenya videos ni bi nso ahwe Nyankopon hire obi anonyo obi akese. Ebusia me patcho we peaceful election advocacy na de brom no we a pre, during and post peaceful election advocacy and de brom ye nyina ye make sure say be contribute your quota na sa peaceful election na de bia ye pay yensa aka Nyankopon adma comes of December 7th be Saturday ye be pia koto aba yesre obia enye se kan twen enye etuoto enye blows bo abusia me patcho ntisa yesre obia ensa dansayem ye pa obia chow say ye nyina ye kwa ye making it peaceful okwa you have the right to stay and monitor the electoral process and niema enkoyia please report to your friend saying institution now or you're mandated to sell I mean the police maybe crowd your NDC and now your MPP ni or agents war when we are the report them out no when what you say on fan kosoro na just peace na yen na ye pen yensa enka yes robia is robia ni de kwan so pa na ebusia we a message via ye de ma Mensah. I am a citizen. I am not a spectator, as your president, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, told us to be. Or see, you're citizens, not spectators. As a citizen, as I am, a concerned one as such, Mensah, and I say the EC led by Mensah. Yes, Remo, Mama didn't transparent, Mama didn't fair. Say, recently the barometer Afro barometer by actually say ye lose and even the global info ni Afro barometer make us now almost have most of Ghanaians have lost trust and hope in the EC, the current EC led by Mensah. Why should it be so? More now, you are the only institution now. The electoral system, everything regarding to our election or Ashamonsa. So Ghana, we are practicing democracy, and it's okay. Trust anywhere, you will cause a lot of havoc because Obi Krabeka say no, we maybe in Sukrana sincerely now will be but right from the onset, and Yama way in 90, young funny say, I am ka asem ka yes asem ka yen ka say currency because Ghana ya ye din we Bawumia MPP omo san benya biom yes nyame mpangu kura yen fa ne say Bawumia ana I emerge victorious ebusua na so opie babontin be na so be declare Bawumia as the president elect. Do you think say Mensah upon all the mistakes and why do you think say Ghanaians will believe, will trust more your friends say some men can say declaration and say results and what the Bible you see maybe so not sincerely speaking unwiemu now Bawumia has emerged of which and Pengu of which asem na America nyame mpangu say yes about Bawumia because niema akoso o man mu no they need to go enti ebusuan yem fa ne say en krese Bawumia ana emerge as such a na Mensah upia babontin ebeka a lot of Ghanaians because watch it ni nyina because of men can say initially no o shas and a start niema wo ye no ana ma Ghanaians you lose trust in you. It's very bad. Very bad. Please, the EC should work hard. Should at least there are certain mistakes. Me won't mean for me go easy because me to me yes ejumano. I said no me to me yes ejumano. Oh na ye nim se obetima ye ejumano. Ana ye the meme tax. Any wa wo hwem wo tax ana ye di tua ne ka. Enti ye tua wo ka say ye ejumani ye man no. We expect you say you do the right thing for us. And yes, I say a tembia mistake. Enye Ghana, enye Ghana, as in say Ghana, because I nanado na appoint to anke fa baby, anke kru baby a wo Mensah kajo ye, led by the EC officials na pina na ke jimu nyina afro. Adan enen kwa na mobile mistake, no more baby say we say so a political party MP ababontin and be raise concerns and na che say mo ye niema ne sa na ye nyina yetim. You see, it isn't fair. It isn't fair. With all due respect to the EC and to our mother, Mensah, with all due respect, please, at least we understand, say, a human institution, errors are made. We understand. But at least 1% error, me can say, tolerable. But all the time, mistake, waba. Now we are beka, and sana oba to boka in mokra mobile in the first place. Now my your friend saying, Mabe di banking, later my baby admit it. What you see, you are not helping. You are not helping us. Team Fire way, you are not helping. So, mommy, Mensah, let please and the EC. EC in total, the entire EC. EC as in an institution. Yes, Robia, all the officials from please, try to minimize your degree of error. At least, yet what is nipa so the other before. But please, nyemebu ha wanted to so my na ye nyagide wo mumu. Na mo declare, ye who say yes, mo declare na side declaration. Free. Ye share the SEO America. That was some yesterday, and I know and now much na me shall say BT Alpha Rook. And as in some Alpha Rook can the electoral system of ECA. 3 Republicans, that is in say EC and Kasa Mensah office honor. 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, and omuye adwuma wo ho. Enkoye say government in power no and ebe appointed menka de say ana ebe so far government in power obetima appointed the EC, but nimkofo makunku 6 na nkofo 6 ne 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. And omusha no muye adwuma so wuntimi mfa wo penka say enemy yewi because what the BB someone will object to, and it was free and fair. I wouldn't compare Ghana to America because America many advanced in terms of building of their democracy. I understand it is very simple to be understood, but the Ukraine say you can also do your best to make sure that the trust in EC, at least the trust Ghanaians have in EC, well established and well grounded, firmly grounded. That is what we expect. Nyankopon sha no nya okese busia makasa kakra so fa the share comment section no ye da se bebre nyame sha. So the message aye de ma Mensah yesre no mistakes ni errors na ya no omoye no omunjai do you Mensah, you know, or you're very competent. I trust Mensah, to be sincere. I do trust Mensah, but I feel say at times you know I omubu omani na go bibi so aha as yen hye na nyeni se ne hu sa na me hu ne de because the Mensah are very competent to do she knows the best, she knows the best. I know, I believe. So please Mensah, do the at least help us all, Nyankopon shiro bibia na onye obi akese me da obi bia se ye de nkomo de besi afa audience social comment section me da se